Yeah!
Yay!
What's so funny?
I don't know. Just everything leading up to this moment.
Okay, perfect. Guess what, everybody? We have some really exciting news to share today.
We
I'm
do have
super,
exciting
super
news.
pumped. Not the best intro coming into that exciting news, but maybe I cut that out. We'll see. I'm going to have you. Today's going to look a little different. Martha's going to do like a little Q&A with me. But we're going to be talking about a new offering, new program that we're going to be having here at Myriad Fitness and Yoga. Something I'm personally really excited about because I partaked. I did one last year in 2024 and had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And it revolves around fitness. So in general, I guess I'll kind of break the news. We are going to be, or we are officially, yeah, that's why I brought these up. Look at.
For the announcement.
We are officially a HYROX Training Club.
Hopefully you can read that.
Yes, HYROX. So if you're not familiar with HYROX, Google it. But we are going to do our best right now to kind of explain a little bit about HYROX, my experience with HYROX, what that means for Myriad as a whole, and kind of like where we're going with that. So,
well, the first thing I need to know is what even is HYROX?
HYROX is a competition that is started in Germany, and it is a fitness competition where you're running 1,000 meters, and then you're going inside the rock station or going inside of that racetrack, so to speak.
That's the rock station?
It's called ROX stations.
Oh, okay.
So ROX, HYROX, yes. And the first one, so you run 1,000, 3, 2, 1, go, you run 1,000, and you then go in and do a ski erg. 1,000-meter ski erg.
Okay.
Then you go out and run 1,000 meters, and then you come back in and do a sled push. And then you run 1,000 meters, you come back in, you do a sled pull. Then you run 1,000 meters, you come back in and do a row. Then you run 1,000 meters, you come back in and do burpee broad jumps for 80 meters. Then you run back out there, run 1,000 meters, come in and do lunges with a weighted sandbag. Then you run out there 1,000 meters, come back in and do weight walks, farmer's carries.
Okay.
Then you run out there for 1,000 meters, and then you do 100 wall balls, and then you're done.
I thought you were never going to stop.
I know, it does seem like it goes, and it does feel that way in a competition as well. So essentially, it's an 8-round workout of 1,000 meters run, and then you come in and do some sort of station fitness activity.
Okay, and like how long did that take you?
So I did it with a partner, a member here, Mike Cremisi, and it took us 1 hour and 6 minutes.
So when you do it with a partner, are you splitting up
Correct.
the reps?
When you do, so that's what's cool about this
Okay.
is you can break it up to where you can do this individually. You can do this with a partner of same gender. You can do this with mixed doubles. So you can do it with somebody else. I could do it with Caitlin. And there's also a relay team that you can do, which I don't know if I ever told you that.
No, you didn't.
That happens in the evenings. I think it's 6 person per team, or maybe it's 8 people per team, and then you put your fastest people in each of those stations on those things.
That would be
then
fun.
there's also a pro division too, which is really just heavier weights for all of those things.
Okay.
So you can do all those things, but then at heavier weights. So there's a lot of different ways to compete in a HYROX. What's really cool about HYROX that really kind of the reason why it's taking off and becoming a global phenomenon to an extent is the fact that it's taken the idea of a 10K or half marathon or a full marathon, because a lot of people put this on their calendar and say I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this. And with HYROX, it's the same thing, same course, same structure, same workouts in the same category or same back to back,
Right.
you know what I mean, in the same order, no matter where you go in the entire world. So all they need is a convention center or a big giant space to where they can have a 1,000-meter lap. And for us, we did it at Navy Pier in Chicago in November of last year, and you had to run 2 laps to equal 1,000 meters. But all they need is this lap and then enough space to put stations in the middle, and they can run HYROX, which is super, super cool. What's happening right now is it's been going crazy out in Europe, and they're selling out in Europe. And now people from Europe are coming to the States to buy registrations because they can't even get registered in events here. And now the States are starting to sell out pretty quickly with these events.
And what's cool about that is then you can test yourself against it, right?
Correct.
You could do it and you could do it again.
100%. And that's where as soon as I finished, I didn't do as well as I had hoped. My partner Mike is really, really fit. Shout out to Mike. And I kind of let him down a little bit. I sort of bonked on a couple of different exercises because my heart rate went through the roof. So I immediately, as soon as I finished, was I immediately wanted to do another one. But this is the challenging part is they're only held in certain cities throughout the country. a couple times a year. So you actually have to travel to these bigger cities, New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, Houston, to get to do a HYROX.
Gotcha.
Which makes it super interesting because as a HYROX training club, we can actually run competitions here at our space, which we can jump into that more later.
So let's back up a little bit. Okay, so now we are a HYROX affiliate.
We are a
HYROX Training Club.
Correct.
Is what we are known as.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So that means we have the ability to run HYROX classes. HYROX has its own special programming system that we have access to. There's a lot of other programming systems out there who program for HYROX as well, just like CrossFit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, HYROX, in my opinion, is CrossFit, and CrossFit is HYROX. Like CrossFit in 2001 created this methodology that is constantly varied functional movements at high intensity, and the idea is that's happening when you're doing a HYROX.
Yes.
So, whatever it is, whatever programming we do. So, for example, we did a programming yesterday that was 1,000 meter or 1 mile run, 1,000 meter row, like. That could easily look like a HYROX workout or a HYROX training workout, when in reality it's like that's also a CrossFit workout. So like anytime we do a HYROX workout to an extent, it's essentially you're doing CrossFit. So they have a lot of synergies and they integrate really, really, really well with each other. So a lot of training clubs, HYROX training clubs, are actually CrossFit gyms. And I personally think it just gives another opportunity, another avenue for people who may be plateaued or may not be interested in the high skill level movements of CrossFit, snatching or clean and jerking, which some people love that. A lot of people love that. Most CrossFitters love that, but a lot of people don't love that. A lot of people don't want to go through all that skill intensive training. Well, HYROX, it's a more so what they call natural movements, to where it's like you're doing burpees, you're doing a sled push, you're doing a sled pull, things you're doing in everyday life, which don't take a whole lot of skill development to do those. So almost anyone can walk in and take a HYROX class.
Yeah. So just to clarify that, the HYROX courses are just those specific movements you kind of outlined.
Yeah. So
in what the actual competition is, and we're avoiding all of the high skill movements in CrossFit, such as like muscle ups.
Correct.
Ring muscle ups, Olympic lifts, stuff like that.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. And so what that looks like for us right now is we're going to be starting off with becoming a HYROX Training Club. Is we're going to release and do a 6-week training program, 6-week HYROX training program that I'm going to be leading. It's going to be on Monday mornings at 5 a.m. and then Wednesday evenings. We haven't decided 100%, but it's going to be 6:15, 6:30, somewhere in that range, maybe 7.
Is that an hour-long class?
It's going to be an hour-long class. So yes, Monday mornings, Wednesday nights, and then there's going to be one at-home workout given to people so they can work on running. Because the one thing about HYROX that's different than CrossFit and every other methodology out there is there's a lot of running. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you don't like running, then HYROX isn't for you.
Yes.
But Indianapolis specifically is a huge running community. There's the mini marathon, there's the monumental marathon, there's races all over the place. And a lot of people get plateaued or hit some goals, and they're just like, well, what's next? HYROX is next.
Yeah, and we have a lot of runners at our gym.
100%.
Yeah,
totally. And like I am the CrossFitter that's always been biased to running, always liked running. So like when I did this event, I was like, oh my gosh, like no wonder everyone loves this. No wonder this is taking off for people, because it was awesome and I felt those endorphins as well as we went through. So the 6-week training program, it's going to be 2 in person and then 1 at home workout. Like we'll give people a running workout. And then there'll be 2 Saturdays throughout that 6 weeks in which we'll have a kind of like a HYROX trial, I guess, demo.
Like a
mini version of it, so everyone kind of feels what that feels like. And that'll be on one of the Saturdays. It's in May. I can't remember exactly what date. And then we're going to actually, in June, host a full HYROX. And this is going to be a full HYROX in the sense of we're going to be hosting one that not only members have access to, but the general public has access to as well. And that's going to be a paid event that people can sign up for and do a HYROX with us here at Myriad, which I'm really pumped about.
And that's super exciting. So that HYROX event, it won't be like an official HYROX event, right? But it will be a HYROX style event, correct?
Yes.
Which we're not quite sure what that looks like yet.
Yes, I mean, imagine a lot of the movements are going to be very similar to what you would get at like an official event. but we don't have all of the sleds. We don't have all the same ropes. Like we're gonna have some mismatched things here and there, but for the most part, we have all the equipment that you would want or need in an official, and it's going to give you nearly 95 to 98% taste of what an actual HYROX would feel like from a movement perspective.
Yeah, and it would give you a good idea if you're thinking that a HYROX event is something you want to do. This is a good preliminary one to kind of feel it out.
And we have a few coaches, a few members right now that are actually traveling to Miami. I know a few people going to Atlanta as well because they have the official HYROX events there. I'm hopeful, fingers crossed. We did get confirmation, you and I did, on a call that they're going to have one in Chicago. It's not on their calendar right now.
But it should be on there soon.
Yeah, our goal is November of last year is when they host the Chicago one. And our goal would be to bring 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 members from Myriad up there. And that's another cool thing about being a HYROX training club is we actually get early access to sign up for HYROX events, official HYROX events when they come out. And we also get a 15% discount code, which I did not know until
I didn't know that either.
Went through the email. So that's really cool
that's
too.
That's very exciting because they do sell out.
Correct. So being a part of a HYROX affiliate has a lot of advantages now if you're really interested in doing a HYROX. And so I'm super, super pumped to be a part of that community as well. So,
very cool. Yeah. Well, let's recap all of that. So we are now a HYROX affiliate, HYROX Training Club.
Yes, and let me jump in on that really quick. Sorry, I know you're recapping. That's changing nothing with us as a CrossFit gym. So I think I don't want people to get confused. Like, what are we doing now? What are we changing to? This is just an additional program that has been taking off that I've personally been passionate about that I think a lot of members and a lot of former members and a lot of people who could be potential members would be very interested in. So CrossFit classes are staying the same.
Yeah, that's not changing at all.
Correct. And we're starting off with a HYROX 6-week program to kick this off, and hopefully we're going to cap that at 20 people, and it is going to be a paid event as well. So I believe we have it priced at $250 for it's over. Gosh, I can't do the math right now, but it's a decent amount of classes, and you also with that $250 that pays for that HYROX event that we're going to be doing in June as well.
Right.
And then we're going to reassess what that looks like come early June to where we may potentially offer some HYROX classes on a daily schedule. At the gym. What exactly that looks like yet, we can't commit to. I have an idea. We've talked about this, but something of that nature will definitely take place.
To be revealed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you on the recap.
No, that's okay. That was all great. You kind of did some recapping there. Yeah. So we are now a HYROX Training Club. We are...
Sorry, these are my personal shoes.
They're very nice shoes.
And I've only worn them once, so that's why they look so brand new. I hurt my foot, and so
Jared's clearly into training for HYROX.
I really want to train for a HYROX, but my foot
shoes.
is messed up right now, so I can't even run. So I got to row and ski erg. And
we are a HYROX Training Club.
Yes.
We are running a 6-week course.
Yep,
that you can participate in.
Starts early May. We'll have sign-ups starting early April. I think first week of April, we plan on getting the sign-ups for that out.
2 classes per week.
2 classes per week.
1 at-home program.
1 at-home program workout.
And it ends with the HYROX event.
It will end with a HYROX event.
Yes, which you are automatically have enrollment for if you join us for the course.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's...
Does that cover everything?
I think that covered. There's a lot to it. There's
probably
a lot more as well, but like we're learning, and I think that's actually one thing to throw out there is like this is brand new for us. There's only 2 other CrossFit gyms in the giant region of Indianapolis.
We're the only downtown.
And we're the only one downtown to be a HYROX training club. And I think there's like 2 F45s up in Noblesville, far up in Fishers that are training clubs up there. So you can find us on the affiliate map. So if you go to the HYROX website and click on trying to find a training club, you can find us there. And then there's tons of resources, and we're excited to kind of figure out what this looks like for us. But it will be fun, and
Yeah, keep your eyes open for more information. If you have specific questions, ask us, especially ask Jared because Jared's done an event. So Jared's going to have the best information, though I'm happy to help.
Yeah. But Coach Kelly's doing one in 2 weeks, I believe, in Miami.
Who'd be a good person to ask as well.
For sure, and I know a couple other members as well. So I'll end it there, and we'll have more on this as we go.
Yeah.
Done.